This is Joe Biden, of course, is the First Lady of the United States yesterday.
So I know we'll have the champions come to the White House. We always do. So, we'll have LSU come. But you know what? I'm going to tell Joe, I think Iowa should come too, because they played such a good game. So, right? So winners and losers, that's sportsmanship.
Okay, now look, this administration has kind of done that before, right? If you go back and you watch when Howard lost in the NCAA tournament, the vice president went into Howard's locker room and was talking about how proud you represented everybody and how incredible, they got beat by 30. Those are young men, prideful young men. They're not 7-year-old soccer team. And the same thing is true for Iowa's women. Truly not true for Iowa's women. They know the deal. Caitlin Clark understands the deal. You win, the victors go the spoils. Now, if I were to tell you that, and obviously if you followed on social media, Angel Reese, who's the MOP, that's the most outstanding player, called it a joke, right? And it's been made out to be exactly what it feels like, which is, oh my God, good sportsmanship is bringing the losing team, right? So is San Diego State going to go with UConn to the White House? What are we doing now? What's the purpose of winning unless you get some of the benefits, some of the rewards from it? But if you change your perspective and you think of it this way, and again, Joe Biden didn't look at it that way, but if you said, hey, that's the highest rated women's college basketball game ever, it has a chance to be Bird versus Magic. Now, it's obvious that, anyone can say Bird versus Magic was white versus black, right? And you have that with Reese and Caitlin Clark. They didn't match up against each other per se. And obviously, a lot of the discussion was over the taunting that clearly occurred. And you can tell me it's trash talking. That's taunting what occurred. Whether you like it or don't like it, or you accept it, you don't accept it, that's fine. That's what you think. I don't know of any coach I've ever played for or met that would say, hey, that's how we want to behave when we win a national championship. I just don't. But instead of having the perspective of this is, oh my God, 7th grade soccer team, everybody goes to the pizza party. Everybody gets a trophy. What if you looked at it like it was Bird and Magic? What if you looked at it like this is something that can change the sport? Bird and Magic, one, change college basketball forever. What we saw last night in the Final Four, 75,000 people, and we see every year in March, was essentially started by Bird and Magic playing in Salt Lake City. And I don't know if it's sustainable. I think the women's game, if they're smart, they stay in arenas for now. They fill them up with 22,000 seats. They continue to find the right windows to broadcast. And, hopefully Caitlin Clark stays in school at least one more year, maybe 2 more years with her popularity. Obviously, Reese can stay in school for, up to 2 more years as well and capitalize on her popularity. And, oh, yeah, by the way, these women are going to make more money in college than they would playing in the WNBA. But what if you changed your perspective and you said, well, especially if you're Angel Reese, right? You just sit there and go I understand that it's weird, that it feels like a participation trophy, but it's your trip to the White House. And if you say, you know what? I'd like Iowa to come. Let's grow this thing. Let's make it Ali Frazier. Let's make it, whether it's a rivalry or a friendship or whatever it is. It's the idea of changing your perspective to see something bigger than just what you see in linear fashion. Taking your emotion out of it and go, if I'm Reese, right? If we do this thing together, if we grow this sport together, like Magic and Bird did, how powerful a twosome can you be? Not just in this year or in next year or potentially the following year, but we could do that in the WNBA. We could do that And I mean, like, Magic and Bird saved the NBA. And the WNBA doesn't need saving, but it definitely needs a shot in the arm. Like, here's a way to look at it. All those women right now that complain about flying on commercial aircrafts. I don't know if it grows to that level. I just don't know. I don't know if the reality, we get tired of it. And it's something that's it's like after the women won the World Cup and Brandi Chastain took off her shirt and had the sports bra on, they launched the Women's Soccer League, which was a flash in the pan and then went away. They tried to build on it. They've tried to build on it many times, and they haven't been able to. So I don't know if this changes forever the dynamic of women's basketball or the WNBA. But ain't it worth a shot? And again, it's not about the college kids and whether they're into it. It's about the adults. It's about the adults. So to the Shannon Sharps who say this could lose Joe Biden the election, like, dude, relax. What if you changed your perspective and thought, hey, this could be an incredible way to grow a really good game with great players, two tremendous young talents. And, oh, yeah, by the way, if you're Reese, like, this is the thing. You're coming across so defensive over anybody trying to celebrate your accomplishments. What'd Magic Johnson do? Like, Magic Johnson's a fierce competitor. But he'd always smile and you never know, right? You basically, you have two choices. You can be Magic Johnson. I mean, even Isaiah Thomas, who is despised. But because of his smile, because of his persona, he's still doing NBA TV. But a lot of that's about not just his smile, persona, knowledge of the game, but he was an incredible player. If Isaiah had Magic's personality and had Magic's ability to, whether it's real or fake, act like, man, I'm just the most humble, happy person to be here, incredibly gracious. Magic wipes his nose with $100 bills. I mean, the dude is an ATM. So that's the perspective you might want to have, whether that was the intent or not, and whether or not you think this is participation trophy. And I don't even know if Iowa wants to go. Like, do I really want to go and celebrate with them when we lost? But sometimes it takes seeing things from a slightly different perspective in order for the intent to hit home.